These are the waiver wire pickups for week 15. First up is Patrick Taylor. Things were already thin in the running back room in San Francisco, and they may have gotten thinner. Isaac Guerendo left today's game in the fourth quarter with a sprained foot, and it's unknown how severe it is. Patrick Taylor ended up finishing the game, and he had 7 carries for 25 yards and 1 touchdown. And with the 49ers having the game well in hand, and them having a short turnaround to Thursday Night Football, they may have held out Guerendo for precautionary reasons. He's scheduled to undergo an MRI tomorrow, but after the game, he said he felt great. But in the event that he does end up missing, Patrick Taylor will be the number 1 pickup this week. It still may be worth it to pick up Taylor as a stash, just in case Guerendo plays and re-injures his foot. Number 2 on the list is Sincere McCormick. With both Alexander Mattison and Zamir White nursing injuries the last couple of weeks, McCormick has stepped up, taking 27 carries for 142 yards. He's also caught 4 balls for an additional 12 yards, and he may have a large role down the stretch. With the Raiders having very little to play for, it would not be surprising at all to see McCormick leapfrog both White and Madison even after they return to the lineup. The Raiders also have a very favorable schedule over the next 3 weeks, playing Atlanta, Jacksonville, and then New Orleans. Number 3 on the list is Isaiah Davis. With Breece Hall missing his first game of the season with a knee injury, Davis saw an expanded role, taking 10 carries for 40 yards and 1 touchdown, his second score in as many weeks. He also caught 3 of 6 targets for an additional 27 yards. Coming into this game, many expected Braylon Allen to be the clear-cut RB1, but it ended up being a pretty even timeshare. The Jets have already come out and said they don't plan to shut down Hall, but with them having very little to play for, there's not much incentive to rush him back, so it's plausible he misses another week. And if he does, Davis would have some strong streaming value, especially in PPR. Number 4 on the list is Kendre Miller. Miller saw his first action since week 8, taking 10 carries for 32 yards and 1 touchdown. He's been injury prone to start his career, which is why Dennis Allen didn't play him much, but with interim coach Darren Rizzi, he seems to have given him a clean slate. With Derek Carr fracturing his non-throwing hand today, the Saints may become a run-centric team from here on out, which could lead to plenty of change-of-pace carries from Miller behind Alvin Kamara. Number 5 on the list is Jalen McMillan. The rookie had his best game of the season today, catching 4 balls for 59 yards and 2 touchdowns, his first score since week 1. I would tread a bit lightly just because he's shown some growing pains in his first season, but he still may be worth taking a risk on just because the Bucs are looking for production from the number 2 wide receiver spot. If you do pick him up, temper your expectations. He would either be the 3rd or 4th option behind Mike Evans, Cade Otton, and even potentially Sterling Shepard, who's been pretty consistently involved all year. Number 6 on the list is Juwan Johnson. He caught 4 passes for 50 yards and 1 touchdown. Unfortunately, like I mentioned, Derek Carr suffered an injury to his non-throwing hand, which may be season-ending. And if it is, it's either going to be Jake Haener or Spencer Rattler the rest of the way, which could affect Johnson in one of 2 ways. He'll either suffer from subpar quarterback play, or he'll be relied on as a safety valve. Number 7 on the list is Tim Patrick. Patrick had his best game of the season, catching 6 passes for 43 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's definitely benefited from Khalif Raymond being on IR, but he does seem to have some chemistry with Jared Goff. Over his last 4 games, he's caught 15 balls for 172 yards, along with the 2 scores. Raymond is due back soon, but with how high-octane the Lions' offense is, Patrick could have some juice as a touchdown-dependent WR4. Number 8 on the list is Mac Hollins. Hollins caught 4 passes for 57 yards and 1 touchdown, scoring for the 2nd week in a row and his 3rd time in the last 5 games. He's definitely benefited from Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid being out of the lineup, but he does seem to show good chemistry with Josh Allen. Both Kincaid and Coleman are potentially due back next week, but if either one of them misses, Hollins could have some value in deeper leagues for at least 1 more week. Number 9 on the list is Michael Wilson. Wilson caught 2 passes for 57 yards and 1 touchdown, and he's quietly gone over 50 yards for 3 straight weeks. He is kind of a risky ad just because he's pretty much the 4th option behind Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, and even James Conner. He's essentially a desperation play at this point, but he does get a great matchup against New England, giving him a little bit more upside than normal. Number 10 on the list is Grant Calcaterra. With Dallas Goedert being placed on IR, Calcaterra got the start and caught 3 passes for 16 yards and 1 touchdown, the first of his career. While the score was nice, he's unlikely to see more than 3 or 4 targets per game in Philly's run-heavy offense, making him a touchdown or bust option. As a quick honorable mention, I want to talk about Sean Tucker. Bucky Irving left today's game with a back issue. He was already dealing with a hip issue. Apparently he left for precautionary reasons, but if he is unable to go in week 15, Tucker would have some value as the number 2 option behind Rachaad White. Those are the waiver wire pickups for week 15. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and let me know which players you think we should pick up in the comments below.